All right, you groovy grasshoppers. It is Thursday, 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, Greenwich, Connecticut. Hope you're doing well. Hey, we need to start off, maybe wait till some more people get on. But sad news from our buddy Danny Erickson lost his mother recently, last couple of days. Good guy. Danny is a fantastic family person. So, it hurts anytime you lose a loved one. But when it's his family is very close to him and very important to him. So, our hearts and prayers go out to him. Uh, um, what else is going on today? I went to a fun event on Tuesday night. So the Rangers do a fantastic job. I mean, a lot of people spend a lot of money, tons of money for season tickets and suites and everything. The Rangers really treat them well. They get together and they have these dinners at nice restaurants, and they bring in some alumni guys and some current players as well. So it was myself, Henrik Lundqvist, and Braden Schneider. There were Principe, I think it's called, down in Lower Broadway, down in Soho. So it was a fun event. You know, it's funny, sometimes you forget who you're dealing with, right? Because these guys are very successful people, big hockey fans, big Ranger fans. There's one guy who was sitting beside and works for a consulting company. I can't remember what it was. And he started talking. I said, "So you got a suite here?" I said, "Oh, yeah." He started talking, well, yeah, we have suites in 48 other states around the country. So, there's a lot of entertaining and everything. So obviously they're doing fairly well. So it's funny when you're in this room, they're fun people, they're all having cocktails going, everybody's having fun, really good food and everything. We're having fun telling stories. I'm telling stories about, the poop story from Survivor and everything. And then you kind of forget who you're dealing with, right? Because they're such heavy hitters, but good people too. Again, huge Ranger fans. So I met a young girl there that she's pretty cool. She always does well. She's got seats down by the penalty box. Right on the ice level, and she's going to rodeo. So I'm going to go to the rodeo with them. She's got about 15 people in the suite going to the rodeo January sometime. So I've been to rodeo a long time. Went to the rodeo in the Calgary Stampede back in like 1980s, mid 1980s. Mike Rogers lives out in Calgary, and he and I were really good friends. And went up to the Stampede. That was that was one of the best vacations I was ever on. Like they shut down the town. They go into work, but they don't go to the office. They have breakfasts out on the side. At least they used to. Breakfast out on the sidewalk, and they're drinking vodka and orange juice at 7 o'clock in the morning. We'd gone out all night. I'd stayed out all night. He'd gone home. He had a family and everything, so he had to go home. So I came home early in the morning. I had slept all night, and he said, "All right, let's go. We're going to breakfast." And so we went up to breakfast someplace, and again, we're drinking at breakfast, and then we went to the St. Louis Hotel, which I think is closed down now. And I thought, okay, we're going to go for a nice quiet lunch, and then we'll go home and get a nap. And we ended up doing shots. And once they found out who we were, the hockey players in Canada, it's such a big thing. So we were doing shots, and it's like it's that old Wild West place where you do shots and then you slam the shot glasses on the ground on the floor. so much for getting some sleep. I think it went for I went for the full like 40 hours or whatever without sleeping. And pounding cocktails the whole time too. So that was a great, and I talk about that part, but it was just the rodeo was fantastic and everything. The whole town, it's one big party, and I'm assuming it's the same way. Missed doing shots. Lorraine, how are you? Good to see you magical creature. Yeah, I don't know. The shot thing. I was never really, I was more good at okay, let's just drink beers constantly. Doing the shots, it knocked me out. It was kind of ruined the night for me. I was not a really good shot drinker. Some guys are pretty good. They could keep going, but I was especially tequila. Deb, you magical creature. You magical. Deb, how are you doing? Good to see you again. What was I? Trying to think what else was. I looked on USA Today. There was something I wanted to talk about today. Let me look up this. Something caught my eye. I thought was interesting. So back. I had a good chance to talk to Braden. There's Deb. Yes, you're doing fabulous. Yes, you absolutely are. To Braden Schneider, good kid, 22-year-old. Man, he's a good-looking kid too. You see, the women were just like, "Oh my god!" So I'm there. I'm there with Henrik Lundqvist and Braden Schneider. I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to put a bag over my head. These two guys are. Henrik walked in. He's a great guy. He's very polite and cordial. He doesn't. We've met each other a few times, but he meets so many people. He's nice. So I have to make sure I say to him every time I'm Tom Laidlaw. He sat down. They sat us down at the table together. And it's interesting because, I'm being a smart ass joking around, telling stories and everything. He's very again, great guy, very stoic, and like I was giving this one girl a hard time to work for the Rangers. She was a Taylor Swift fan. I was like, okay, well, but I just don't get it. I mean, so I said that when Henrik sat down, and he went into this long dissertation about how she creates her own music and everything, very serious. So we go from being me, joking around the whole time, and then again, that's his personality. He's a fantastic guy. I said tons of respect for him. So, yeah, he did have his own little aroma going on there. Yes, I noticed that. I didn't know it was his own cologne, but yeah, he's he's buttoned down. I don't know how long he spends in front of the mirror before he goes out someplace, but he is, every time I've seen him, he is looking sharp. He's smart. That's his brand. He's, round two game used to be like that, like we talked before, and I never could figure it out. Like, Dukes, why are you spending so much time in your hair and like, so in front of the mirror and everything? But he was smart. He knew very early that part of his brand was his looks, his fitness, and everything. And he knew what he was doing. I think I told the story. He one time. A young guy in the locker room during a charity game wanted to do a selfie, and Dukes wouldn't do a selfie with him. I said, Dukes, what are you doing? Do this selfie with the kid. But it was he was smart in that, again, that was his brand, and he wasn't gonna, he said he couldn't control those pictures, so that's why he didn't take selfies. And again, I didn't understand it totally at the time, but I do get it better now. Where, like my brand is more like the fitness and health and discipline and everything. So when I go someplace, like, at this dinner, they're serving really good food, and everybody said, well, aren't you going to eat? And I really tried to show people, I said, listen, you guys, it's fine. You go ahead and eat this stuff. It's good. I just really try not to eat at restaurants that often. You can't control the sugars and salts you put into it. And I do find myself more now. I try to be careful not to be like the food police with people. I want them, especially events like that, you want to enjoy yourself. But yeah, Dukes, you're right, Deb. Dude. And again, I do admire Dukes now for his understanding of what his brand is. Like, he built that brand. He knew exactly what he was doing. Even at a young age, the whole Studio 54 and who he is, and that's served him well. He's very aware of his brand. Like guys, like, for some guys, it didn't work out. Like, you look at, there's some talk now, not some talk, it's just now, but as far as the NHL doing a better job of marketing the players, but it's really not the NHL. It's the players. That's the way to raise. Like PK Subban, Sean Avery, for example. I think they were very aware of what their brand was. They're a little bit more flamboyant and out there, but that certainly didn't help their hockey careers, right? I mean, PK Subban had been the Norris Trophy winner as best defenseman, and pretty quickly after that, his career kind of went, became just an average defenseman. So, and I think, and again, it served him well, that brand that he built for after the game. Now he's on TV all the time and everything, doing very well. Just that, as far as like you see Connor McDavid, he's never going to say anything out of the ordinary. Very bland and everything. That is the hockey way, the hockey culture. And I think it's, again, it doesn't help as far as marketing goes, but as far as like the team aspect of being a hockey player, that's a big thing. So, George, how are you doing, brother? Schlereth, George Schlereth Jr. I'm to meet George Schlereth Sr. if he's still with us. Is there another George Schlereth? Is it just the senior? Is there another George Schlereth? Dougie Davito, how are you feeling? You magical surgical creature. The hip is doing better. What else is happening? There was something I was reading on USA Today. I thought was interesting. What is it? Okay, you know what I was thinking about? The Speaker of the House stuff. Like, they got an article in USA Today how voters get frustrated with the whole Speaker of the House thing, that they haven't named one yet. Do people even care? I mean, like, do people even? Okay, I'll speak about. Do I even know what the role is of Speaker of the House and why I should care whether there is one or not, or who that is? We do not know. 5-0, Hawaii 5-0. We do not know. Oh, sorry about that, George. Sorry to hear about your father. 2014. I hope he had a great life. That's the thing, like with the Erickson losing his mother. I mean, it's terrible losing anybody that you love, but I think the hope is that you look back and say, well, she had a great life. You hope that's what's happened. When you lose somebody. a friend of mine, I won't mention her name, lost her sister's father-in-law, passed away recently, and he just had a heart attack out in the garage and just died instantly. And again, it's terrible to lose someone at any time, but that's, to me, it's kind of the way to go, right? You don't want to suffer. You want to see your loved ones. Your loved ones don't want to see you suffer. My mother and father both died terrible deaths. We dragged that too much, but my mother had cancer. My father had dementia. It was like, oh God, it dragged on and on. And that's one regret I have, especially, that regret wasn't my choice. My mother did all the chemo and all that kind of stuff, and I think all the medication made it worse than the actual cancer itself. But I guess you can't quit. So, the Speaker of the House stuff. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I mean, they made it sound, this article, like the voters were totally frustrated. They're enraged that the vote around stuff. Like, really? Are people really sitting around worrying about that? I don't know. Maybe there's some people that are. Rangers are doing well. They're playing. Shesterkin is unbelievable. Again, going back to Schneider too. Liked him a lot. Great kid. Really good presence for a 22-year-old. He was very aware, like we talked about. Like I said, the one regret I had, if I look back, that I would change. It wasn't a big deal, but you tend to, as a young player, kind of respect. If you're a respectful person, you respect the older players, the veteran players, too much sometimes on your own team and on the other teams. And so that's. He said that. This guy said to him, I says, the one regret I had was like respecting the other guys too much. You got to respect them, but there's the old saying, like, respect everyone, but grovel to no one. Sometimes, like for me, I've told the story with Gilbert Perreault growing up in Toronto. He was playing for Buffalo. We could get to all his games. And he was this great guy, one-on-one. And he was probably, at that time, I would say, one of the best in the league at beating defensemen one-on-one. So I watched the games over and over, and it's, growing up as a kid, so it's kind of ingrained in your head that all these videos of Gilbert Perreault beating defensemen one-on-one. So you play against him the first time, it's like, that's all you think about is like all those videos you watched of him beating one. So you just back up as far as you can. your ass is hitting the goaltender right in the nose. You don't want to go around you, but you get over that after a while. But it is because there's still, as much as you're in the NHL, there still is that first time around, like going through all the teams and traveling around, like you're at least like, man, I'm really here. I'm really playing, like going to Montreal Forum and Chicago Stadium and Boston Garden, Maple Leaf Gardens, all those places. And so it's still playing against great players. Guys that like, I went to the Billy Harris Davy Keon hockey school, and I'm on the ice with Davy Keon, and so it's like, I've told it. I guess I remember being out on the ice with him, and I've told the story so many times. But we had the hockey camp, and he was coaching at the end of the week. I had a scrimmage, and I wasn't a big puck carrier, but for some reason, I guess I was so fired up that he was coaching. I went end to end and went down, deke out the goaltender, and then I hit the post, and came back to the bench. He's like, "What happened, Tommy? What happened, Tommy?" And then there's like, David Keon's talking to you. You're on the bench, and I said, I hit the post. Oh, man, that's a great move, though. And remember, like, that meant so much, right, to Dave Keon. Like, says, "You're a great move, Tommy." No, Deb, great question. No, they did not have the Winter Classic game when I played. That came in after. But we did play the Rangers and Flyers played. God, I keep forgetting, like 10 years ago, the outdoor game. And played in their baseball stadium there. And so the day before, they had the alumni game. And they had 45,000 people for the alumni game. They had to delay the game a little bit, thank God, because it was too sunny and the ice was getting beat up. But we had some fun the night before. So when they delayed it by 2 or 3 hours, like, oh my God, thank you. But it was a blast. Great time getting together with guys, some guys I hadn't played with before, like younger guys. But it was pretty good. And you have like 30 guys in each team, so we were out there with Bobby Clark and the hound dog, Kelly, punched me in the back of the head. I think he really wanted to go. I'm not fighting in an alumni game, but it was funny because we're going out there and we're kind of joking around and we're saying, like, they're like, because you play against Flyers in Philadelphia, it's always like, your mother sucks, your dad sucks, your dog sucks, everybody sucks, and they're all over you. And they say, "We're not going to yell at us now, are they?" Like, we're alumni guys, we're old guys. So you go out in the ice, you get this long walk from the locker room to the ice. And you step out there, and yep, they're yelling at the same way, just like you're a regular player. They could care less. You're playing for the Rangers. Doesn't matter if it's alumni Rangers or NHL Rangers. But it was cool. It was a good game to play outside and everything, and the national anthem with the planes going over. That was cool. Yeah, it was a great experience. I'm glad. It would have been great to play during the regular season, Deb, but it was just even playing the alumni game was a lot of fun. Yeah. It got pretty competitive too. I didn't play with what's his name? Eric, I can't remember his name. Lindros. And he's out there, big man, right? And he's still in pretty good shape. So he's flying up down the ice. And I found he's a really nice kid. I get to know him a little bit when we played for the Rangers. And I was just being a smartass with him, obviously. And I said to him, "Can you slow down out here?" And he was he really thought I was serious. He was really apologetic, like really polite gentleman. Like he said, "I'm sorry." I think he may have said Mr. Laidlaw. Something like that. He said, I'm sorry. I'll slow down with it. I said, I'm just kidding. Go do what you want to do. Have some fun. But he's big. You can see playing against him. Man, he's big and solid. And he can skate and handle the puck and everything. And like to play defense, like to try to be physical against him. Like I watched some old videos of him crashing into guys in the end boards and really killing them. So it was pretty cool. Bill Barber's out there. Bernie Parent was in net. And Dukes was pretty good. Duke got a breakaway early in the game. And Bernie was only going to play for the first 5 minutes, they told us. And Duke shot into his pads intentionally. And it's pretty cool because, that was a good, classy move by Dukes because he could have scored on him. But we're in Philadelphia. Fans all want to see him. And I think Bernie really appreciated it, too, that he did that. I think Mike Keane was coaching it. He got mad at Dukes, I think, because he wanted to win because he played or coached for Philly, too. So Dukes is buddies with Mike Keenan now. And he tells me he's changed, but I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Where's it going with that too? There's something else that happened to me. Oh, yeah, that was the game where Keenan when he was coaching us. It was after the second period, and he was standing in like some other room away from the locker room. He was talking to Mike Richter. Richter wasn't playing; he was coaching, and he had a lot of defensemen. Some guys hadn't played that much. And I said, went in. And I thought he was being a good guy. I said to Keenan, I said, "Listen, I don't need to play a whole lot if you want to play these other guys." He snapped back at me like, I'll play whoever I want to play, kind of mentality. So. I remember looking at Richter and I was like, and I'm not playing. It's not like I take that stuff from him. So I was like, F you idiot. And he's the kind of guy, like he wants to act like he's really tough. And then as soon as somebody turns on him, then he backs down. He didn't say anything after that. So yeah, it's funny though. And those games are fun. So we're going to be playing a really great guy by the name of Joe Neville and his partner. I can't remember his partner's name, business partner. They're putting together some alumni games with the Red Wings. They're separate from the Red Wings and the alumni, but they're just privately putting these games together. They had the Boston Bruins, and I think I told you about this a couple of weeks ago. And they were going to fly me in and everything. I had a Ranger commitment I had to fulfill, so I didn't go in there. But apparently, talking to John Ogrodnik, former Ranger, the event went really well. He played for the Red Wings. Obviously, he still lives out there. So we're going to play a game out there April 27th. It's funny because I was talking to Joe Neville. We've got to be buddies. We've talked a few times now. And Dino Cicerelli was so they want to have a full lineup. But some of these guys are old guys. So there's going to be like 8 defensemen, 4 full lines, all NHL players on both sides. And I guess he was telling Dino Cicerelli was complaining he didn't want 4 lines. He only wanted 3 lines because he wanted to play more. Some guys are like that with the alumni. So most guys are just having fun, right? Like we went, I've got to be pretty good buddies with Stefan Matteau, and we played a lot of these games together. We're having fun, joking around, and especially we'd rather sit on the bench most of the time and have fun, joking around, get out there. And we played the Islanders last year. We played them 2 years now, but the last time we played them, they had like Pierre Turgeon, like a lot of guys that had just retired recently. And they're still pretty good players, and like they're playing for the Stanley Cup. They slow down, guys. I think it was like 10-1 at some point. We played the game in Dallas, alumni game too, and Mike Fasulo, who works for the Rangers, great guy, does a lot of stuff with the alumni and everything. And he's a goaltender, pretty good goaltender too, and he runs a goaltender camp. And I joked around before the game. I said, "Listen, I'm going to say goodbye to you right now because I'm not coming back on your own end. You're on your own." And I think he thought I was kind of joking. I went back to him at one point. He was beat red because he was getting a ton of shots on him. And he really played well. He had a lot of good saves, but I think the score was like they scored 8 on him or something. But it wasn't his fault. It was just we were joking around, having fun. Those were a lot of fun, those games. But again, some guys do take it pretty serious. But it's good to go out there and play those games. What else is happening? Where is everybody? Where's our girl Susan Brooks? Jeez, man, can't survive without her. Tracy Marie, hope she's doing well again. She lost her mother as well. Danny Erickson again. For people that didn't hear that, I think you have that. Danny lost his mother as well. Carla Sherman, how are you doing? You magical librarian. Carla works at the library in Greenwich, Connecticut. Actually, hey, is that a word really? Hey, not that it's improper to use. I mean, you're a librarian. You can use any word you want to use, but is that really a word? Mike Jenks, how are you doing, magical creature? Morning to you as well. Working with Deb Anderson on our getting the book done. She's fantastic. We get the same mindset about getting that thing done finally. So everybody, hopefully we get the book done by Christmas so we can get out there for once for a Christmas present. It's going well. Deb really thinks the same way I do about how we want the book to read. It's casual. Okay, I like it. I like it. We can be casual. We can do that. So this event we went to on Tuesday. Again, I touched on it before, but it's funny because these people are the big hockey fans, but you kind of forget. The reason they're there is because they spend so much money on the Rangers. So it's either wealthy individuals or companies. So you kind of you're joking around, and again, I'm being smart. I was telling stories and everything, and then they say, "Oh, so what do you do?" "Oh, well, I work for," and they're usually pretty casual about it too. They're like, "I work for a consulting company." One guy, but he's really calm about it. Wasn't bragging about it and like that. And so we started talking a little bit more, and like I said, we're in 48 different states with suites and all the buildings, and that's these suites aren't inexpensive, right? They're like, in some cases, I think $1 million a year or whatever, and typically they're talking that they get the suites for all the events in the building too. So sort of the gardens, gardens got I think over 500 events every year. So yeah, going to the rodeo. I haven't been to rodeo in a long time, so we'll do a little shout out to this person too. She was pretty cool. Let me see here where we found her. Blake Young, Blaike Young, really fun young girl. She was there with the mother, and they were having some fun. And again, she's got seats right down on the ice level, right beside the penalty box. And again, you know what? Obviously, there's some wealth there, but they weren't like arrogant about it. They were pretty casual about it. It's like, yeah. So I asked her, so what are you doing? She said, oh, well, kind of being a philanthropist right now. And I said, oh, you're living the life. Oh, yeah. Yep. You can tell she was living life all out, like I said, going to the rodeo, doing all these different things. So good crew to hang out with. And the Ranger staff that put these things on too are really, they really put a good show. So they usually, I think they said there's like 50 people in this room, and probably spread out over 12 tables, something like that, 12, 15 tables. So they move us around from table to table. You get to meet anybody. So it's pretty funny. And again, I come in and I'm Mr. Smartass joking around and I'm telling stories and everything. And Henrik comes in and he's just this stoic, very intelligent man and very impressive. Man, he's got the whole thing nailed down. Like his the way he's dressed, his hair and everything is just like, wow. It's almost like, you know what? Good call by you, Deb. I will definitely wear the boots. I'll bring, you know what? Maybe I'll bring the hat too. Yeah. I think my head's grown, or else the hat has shrunk a little bit because it sits a little high up in my head now. Can you imagine, like back when I came to the Rangers in 1980, I would go out in the city with the cowboy boots and cowboy hat on all the time. That was it. And even after I got that plane, I was wearing the cowboy boots all the time. When I was in the agent business, if I was wearing a suit, I had the cowboy boots on. Yeah, I had a good collection of boots too. I just kind of got out of the mode of that, and they kind of all wore out, got old and everything. So, but again, we went to Nashville. What was that, a couple of years ago with the Rangers, and we went to the boot store. Nice, nice pair of ostrich skin boots. Ooh, nice. Like they're really comfortable to wear too. So I've had a problem. So it's my computer's frozen again. I hope everything's working good, but for you guys hearing it, but I've had a problem with my computer freezing. I think I get too much stuff stored on my computer here. So we'll see. We'll see. Hold on, I'll keep talking here, but is that what? I am the Frito Bandito. So I'm just fixing up my computer. Okay. There we go. It is a Mac. I think it's the iPro, iMac, whatever. Oh, Carly, can you fix it for me? Again, I get so much stuff, like all the shows. I've got to delete. Like I've done hundreds of these broadcasts now, and a lot of them are still stored on here between the Full Change podcast and the True Grit podcast. So I've got to clean that. I think the problem is just get so much stuff stored on there. I got to get rid of it. We've had a few times lately. It's pretty consistent now when we're doing the Full Change podcast. It freezes up on us. But again, I do a force quit with my Chrome, and then it's fine again. So save it to the cloud. Yes, I've got one of those portable storage, whatever it is. But we store all the Tom comes in, the producer, and stores all our podcasts from Full Change on that, and then he takes it and edits it at his place. So, but yes, I should just save the cloud. Yeah, but I'm just, like part of this. Somebody said to me, you better remember your password, or else you won't be able to access the stuff in the cloud. So, external hard drive. Thank you, Deb. You brilliant creature. You. You know what? I've gotten into the habit. We joked about Tom and I have joked around with this, where like sometimes I'll forget somebody's name and I'll call them a different name, and immediately I've gotten into the habit. So when they say, well, my name's stuff, I say, hey, Bill. They say, my name's not Bill, it's Bob. And I go, oh, you changed your name? And so, yeah, yes, yeah, I think you're right, Carla, for sure. So, in fact, I've got like hundreds of these shows still stored, and I don't need to have it stored too. They've gone to my Facebook or YouTube channel, and then in the case with Tom, it's already downloaded on the external hard drive. So, I don't need to store it on a computer. Another one of those things I need to get done. Done. Again, like I mentioned too, Deb Miners Hagen Anderson has been fantastic helping with the book, getting it done. So we're going to get that done by Christmas or whatever. Back up your Full Change to one external hard drive. Back up your YouTube to a different external. Yeah, I appreciate it, Carol. Yes. So again, Tom Smith has got all the Full Change podcasts backed up to the hard drive. I don't really need to back up the stuff from YouTube, because again, it's stored already on. It just stays on my Facebook profile too. So I really don't need the old True Grit Life podcast. So that is my project. In fact, maybe I'll do that. I got to go for a walk. I didn't go to the gym today. Took a day off, so I got to get a nice walk in. So after this show, I'll go for a nice walk. And then I'll come back and clean that up. Had my nice, so I've been pretty consistent getting going with my, sometimes I mess up a little bit with my smoothie. So we got the, either we use almond milk or the chicken bone broth. Either way, lots of protein in there, low fat protein. The chicken bone broth gets a little bit more sodium than we'd like to. So I think you talked about it before too. Yeah, a really cool app that I found, I think it was Tom Smith actually recommended to me, this Yuka, Yuka. And it takes all the information that's on the nutrition label on any kind of foods, but it gives you a score from 0 to 100. It's like when you go to Costco or the store or whatever, if you're shopping around, you're not sure if it's good or not. Again, it's really just uses the nutrition information that's already on the box, but it puts it all together and gives you a score. Oh, that's right. So thank you. Once you have to empty your trash, yes, thank you. I will do that. Thank you, Carla, for the advice. But this Yucca is, I really recommend it to everybody. Again, it just gives you a guide of how good the food is. Like stuff like Grey Poupon mustard, for example. I was using that thinking that's pretty healthy. And I really could have done it myself, just gone and read the nutrition I should have, but I just assumed it was healthy. But when you scan it, it comes back telling you that it was a low score, and it tells you that the sodium content is too high. And what's good about it too is it gives you an alternative. Spicy brown mustard is much better than the Grey Poupon. So again, the big things that a lot of packaged foods like that is the sodium level and the additives and preservatives and it tells you, it'll give you a little readout saying like there too many dangerous additives or whatever, or it'll say, listen, there's a little bit too much. Like, so it kind of tells you, listen, this isn't perfect, but it's not awful. So I really recommend that for everybody. Yucca, Yuka. Pretty cool app, and it's free. I think, too, it's free. And again, the one concern, I think somebody brought it up on the show here, maybe last week, that is it made by some of these food manufacturers? Now, it tells you that it's not. That doesn't mean we can believe that totally, but it says it's a really independent thing. And again, if you compare the labels. And again, I have been reading more stuff too about even the labels. We can't always trust sometimes. There's a lot of stuff in a lot of these foods that they don't list. They should, but they're not. I don't know. I don't know that Food and Drug Administration. I think it's kind of like on your honor system that you're supposed to do the right thing all the time. So that's interesting. What else we got going? It's been fun. Getting the book done. Found actually, thanks to somebody here on the show, actually recommended Kelly Dolan to do. She's going to represent me to get more speaking engagements as well. She does a lot of. She's down in New Jersey. She does a lot of stuff like card signings and everything. So, the Yukon is doing great, Deb. Thank you very much. It's freaking fantastic now. It's almost like the noise it was making before. If you'd heard it, it was like the whole truck was going to fall apart. It was so bad. And then it just disappeared. Again, the mechanic who I trust so much, he's up in Stanford Shell, up in Japan. Great guy. I really recommend it. Hi, Pete is his name. I don't know if I know his last name, but really, I was recommended to me by another mechanic down here, and just trust him totally. And he was really frustrated with the truck because he's a pretty good mechanic, and he couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. And like I said, he finally drained the fluids out of the differential. I think it was thinking that maybe there's some piece of metal is grinding in the gears there. He couldn't find any metals, but once he did that, it didn't. It's funny. It did it a couple times after that, but pretty much, and it was really lighter noise, and it's disappeared now. And I was driving it first. I kept waiting for this noise to happen again, but I've driven it some pretty good distances and everything. And it's been probably a month now. It hasn't made any noise. So the truck's great. People say I've really tried to maintain it. Like it really looks good. I figured I spent it's like $50 a month to go to the Splash Car Wash, and you can go as many times as you want during the month to clean the inside and out. So they really maintain it as far as its appearance. So I've got a little bit of rust. There's a hitch in the back, a tow hitch. There's like a pipe that goes along. It's got a little bit of rust in that, so I may have to replace that, or else maybe I just paint over it. I got to scrub down there. It's in a tough spot to kind of just. I've learned with rust, you can't just paint over the rust. Or maybe there is some paints. I got to go to Home Depot, see if they have that. Some paints that you can paint right over the rust. But typically, you've got to get rid of the rust out of the bare metal. And then, so I got that. And I only have to have one little rip on the side of my front driver's side seat. I've got a repair kit. I've got to fix that up. Other than that, man, it's in good shape. But what's funny, I got to put the mirror back on, too, in the rear view mirror. If you guys have ever done that, there's like a little metal plate that you glue onto the windshield, and I've done it before. Sometimes it sits out in the sun and just overheats, and so I was trying to glue it back on, and I've done it before. It's worked fine, and I guess I was getting cocky. I didn't hold it up there long enough. Just kind of threw it up there, and then okay, that's good enough, and then it fell off. And the metal plate, if it fell properly, it would just fall onto the floor. No big deal. It's like it had eyeballs of its own, a mind of its own. It fell, kind of bounced forward into the vent for the defrost. Yeah, Deb, good point. I lost that. It just fell off, and I again, as being Mr. Cheapo, when I went on Amazon and ordered one, but it wasn't a GMC, but it was made by somebody else, so it didn't fit properly. And I thought it was okay, put it on and drove for. And when I stopped again, it was gone again. So I've got to get the cover. Yeah, you can get them. You can get anything on Amazon, but just got to get the right one. I may even end up going up to the GMC dealer I know up there, up in Stamford, Connecticut. Get a new one. It'll look better too. The other, and the handle, you know what? Here's a good story. Good story. So I went to the car wash and they pulled the door handle off, the driver's side door handle. And they were really good about it. The guy working there filled out a report. I got all my information, sent it into, and then I went and got an estimate from Frank's Automotive in Port Chester, New York. I highly recommend Frank. Frank's a good guy, good friend of mine. Really good at his job, but really good service and everything too. So Frank over by Home Depot. In Port Chester, New York, Frank's Automotive. And so he ordered one the same day. They put it on fine. Got it done in about 20 minutes. They had to take the inside panel off the door. It's pretty cool watching them do it. And then they put it on. It's no problem. I took the estimate over to Splash Car Wash, and they they had the check to me. Oh, within like 3 or 4 days, I actually called them up too. I said, "Wow!" It's like, just you're thinking, I'm gonna wait for a month. Do I have to call and yell at them or something like that? Nope. They sent the check out right away, and so I called them the other day, and the girl they got on the phone. She got surprised that I was calling to thank because I think she was customer service, so probably everybody's always calling with complaints and everything. So I thought, you know what? If you're gonna call and complain, you better call and thank them for doing a good job too, and they did. So, Bruce Levine, I am magical, you creature, you. Magical. Things are going good. Got a lot of stuff happening now. The season's got going. Like July and August is gets to be kind of like a quiet 2 months. I hate that. I like doing stuff. So hockey season's going again. Other stuff's happening. So it's a project we've got going on up in Roscoe, New York. That I want to be careful. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So just come to me. But it's more to deal with mental health and fitness, diet, and all that kind of stuff. Where we got a great facility up there, like 1,000 acres. And again, this is just getting started, so it may not even happen. But if hopefully it does, we put a team together, people that sort of like people would go up there for the weekend, and they've got a hockey rink there, a golf course. They've fixed it all up, so the rooms are all new. And so we would do things that we go for, hikes through the woods, and then do team stuff where maybe like 5 people would carry a log together, and then we'd stop along the way and do some motivational stuff and educational things. So the idea of the weekend is it'd be educational, people learn things, but it's also just like a nice retreat, like getting out in the woods. And like some of them hopefully will be during the winter. So we snow other times will be the summer. So really looking forward to that. It's really, again, I've talked to a few people. Hopefully our buddy Mark Puttenvink would be a part of that. He's excellent. He's actually, because he would add some things too about self-defense. So it'd be like a whole series of things. It wouldn't be just, they've got hockey rinks, but we wouldn't surround it just around hockey. It would be more the mental health, learning how to take care of yourself physically, mentally. And like I said, with Mark, with his experience with the self-defense, I met a wonderful woman actually too up in Binghamton, New York, Molly Morgan. And she actually worked with the Binghamton Senators for 15 years with their diet and nutrition. Really good, like a great way about it. Just talked to her on the phone. She got a great family, husband and kids and everything. And that's where she'd be about like an hour and 20 minutes away from this location. So she would do a lot of the nutrition. They've got a chef. They've redone the lodge up there. And the new kitchen, everything, got a chef. So again, we'd have classes about cooking nutritional food. So the idea is that it's a whole mental health thing and a whole health in general. But again, we would incorporate some hockey, but we don't want to limit it to that. I think it's kind of, we'd have that. It's a golf course there and everything too. It's like 1,000 acres, beautiful place. So hopefully that takes place. Well, we're going to make it take place. So with our good friend Jen O'Brien. Jen O'Brien has I call her PITA, PITA. Pain in the ass. I mean, and she's the only person I think I'd call that. It's a loving term because she runs a group called ASHA, American Special Hockey Association, and so it's kids with special needs and everything. And I think you've seen videos where I go up to Binghamton. There's a family up there, and I feel terrible. I can't remember the family's name, but really a guy who played college hockey at Cornell, been really successful. He does. I think he's in the business where they tear down buildings and everything, but really resourceful guy. Like he's built his own rink in his backyard. This big piece of property he's got. Beautiful place. He's got cabins, and he built a covered bridge. Or like he's really into like just building his own things and everything. So like I think it's like his 15 or 16-year-old son bought his own tractor. Like he's that kind of guy that he's done very well in life and can take care of his family, but he wants them to learn to be independent, take care of themselves. So it's a really cool family. And so when we go up there, they have this tournament. Jen puts on a tournament up there. And I think there's some games that are played at other rinks, but a lot of the games are played at the outdoor rink. And it's I've showed pictures of it, and great place. A great family too, like to be a part of. Like he wants to buy his own. He's kind of guy like he wants to buy his own bus. He fixes things too. So he'll buy like a bus with like 1 million miles on it, thinking, okay, well I can fix anything. If something goes wrong with it, I can fix it. And really, just like that kind of guy you want to be around. Like we got talking about. He didn't know I was on Survivor. I mentioned it to him. He goes, really? Like it's good. Like he likes like cool kind of different stuff, like just doing things like a really adventurer. That's awful. I can't remember his name. It's terrible. I'll remember his name. You should reach out to Sleep to participate in that. Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. Your brother. Yes. Brendan Duffy, sleep expert. Yes. Yeah. Again, we'd like to get, I think they can house up to 60 people right now. And I think they're planning on getting to the point where they can house 100 people. It's a beautiful place. Like the goal is that this will be again like just a great weekend just to get away, like up in you know the country more, but also like learn a lot about your health and wellness. So it's looking forward to it. So put a team of people together that'll have a great weekend up there. And again, you split up into groups, and everybody's doing something different every day. And maybe obviously have some time to themselves too, because it's a beautiful spot up there. So again, that just has come to me, and we're really going to make an effort to get that done. Jen obviously Jen O'Brien is already working there. So it's family. They just bought the family just bought it. I think they're a New Jersey family just bought it like November and fixed it all up, put a ton of money into it, put an outdoor rink in, like I said, fixed up all the rooms and everything. So it's all new. So we'll update you as that gets going more. So that'll be a lot of fun. And again, like I mentioned, we've got that game coming up. The Rangers are going to play the Red Wings alumni in Fraser, Michigan. Hopefully the Selly Salt girls will be there again. They were at the Bruins and Red Wings game. That'll be April 27th. Talked to Ron Duguay the other day. He's going to participate. A lot of guys, some guys like Eddie Mio played for the Red Wings and Rangers. He's playing he's living in the Detroit area as well. Like guys like Mike Hartman's from that area. So, get a lot of my old client. He hasn't called me back yet. Dallas Drake. He lives up in Traverse City, Michigan. He was an old Red Wing. So got to try to get it. So it's fun though. It's fun seeing the old guys. So we're going to do we're going to have Reed Larson. I remember Reed Larson. We're going to do a podcast with him to help promote that, but also we'll do a full change podcast with him to discuss it. He was a good player. For you guys remember Reed Larson or not, big shot, like cannon for a shot. Good player too. There's a good time to Johnny Ogrodnik the other day too. What a smart guy he was. He, like everybody else is carrying a 6-pack of beer around. He's got his briefcase. He's a businessman and everything. So he's done well in life. And he lives in the area. Haven't seen him. He came into town for some Ranger event. 7 or 8 years ago. Haven't seen him in a long time. So it'll be good. It's always good to see all the old guys. There'll be guys like Dino Cicerelli be a pain in the butt. Always complaining because there's too many guys playing. So that's right. We get the sleep expert going. Brian Duffy, you magical veteran. Man. Another one. Here's one. You got to look up this guy up in Binghamton, New York. Our good friend Barry Shelley introduced me to Bill Clark. Bill Clark is a power lifter who speaks. He teaches up at, I think, University of Binghamton. I think that's where it is, about fitness and health and everything. Very motivational guy. We were on the phone a couple of times the last couple of days, and one of the things we're talking for hours. But he's also does a lot of world record stuff. Like he's all in the strength and everything. So I think he holds the world record for tearing apart license plates with his bare hands. There's a great picture. If you look him up online, Bill Clark, there's a great picture of him with torn license plates in his hands. And he does stuff like he bends railroad spikes. I think he holds the record for the number of railroad spikes bent. He'll take horseshoes and bend those into a shape of a heart with his bare hands. But he may sound like, this guy's a meathead or something, but he's not. He's this very intelligent guy who just isn't really into health and fitness. And it's just for a kick. He really ties charities when he goes and does these things where he bends stuff or does strength moves. He ties a charity to it. So people will donate money when they come to watch him do this stuff. So he's a great guy. Funny guy too. He was training. I don't know why, but I can't remember why he did this, but he went into the SWAT team up at Binghamton for a short period of time. So he talked about some of the experiences he had, and he's a pretty humble guy too, because so after he was on the SWAT team, he was driving down the road, and some police officer was in a confrontation with some big dude that was kind of beating up the police officer, and everybody else was standing around watching and filming it with their phones and everything. And because of him being a SWAT, he knew what he needed to do, build it. So he stepped in, and I think the police officer said, "Please help me," and because he was in trouble. And Bill's funny because he grabbed the guy, and it's funny how he said it. He says, suddenly he was falling asleep. I guess he put him in a choke, choked him to sleep. But when he said it to him, it was just cool the way he said it. It's like, suddenly, I don't know how, but this guy's falling asleep. So it's pretty cool. He's a good guy. But look him up online. It's funny. Like again, I think he was at. I think he holds the world record for torn license plates. He tears them in half with his bare hands, and these railroad spikes, and again, he's so humble. Like he's telling the stories about bending the horseshoe into a heart. I'm like, how the heck do you do that? Like, if you ever grabbed a horseshoe, there's no way that thing's bending at all. So he's a strong man, but a very intelligent guy too. Very thoughtful. He's really good into his relationship with God and everything. And but not judgmental, like not trying to preach it to everybody else. He's just very open about who he is. And one of those guys too, like you just get to know him. He says, "Okay, brother, good to talk to you, brother." Your brother right away. So we're going to have him on the show as well. Very interesting guy. Done a lot, like his again his motivational part of his life, motivating other people. Pretty cool. All right, everybody. We're no workout this morning at the gym, so we're out for a walk. It's beautiful weather here, a little cooler, like that fall weather. I love this time of the year. Okay, one complaint though. We got to finish with a complaint. So, like for some reason, like they never come. When I first moved in here, they would always come. Landscapers come in and clean, like they'd blow off the back deck there, blow all the leaves off and everything. They've stopped doing that. So I kind of set up my little, part. I don't leave the TV out there, but the extension cord and everything out there. So I'm all set to go. And I've got one of those half, because my table's right against the wall. So I got one of those half umbrellas. And it's all set up nice and neat and everything. Now there's leaves there. So all of a sudden they decided today to come back and I put a chair at the entrance. So nobody, more to keep myself in so I don't get in any trouble. So they're coming in and moving everything and blowing stuff all over the place. And I just scream them and I walk out and like, what are you doing? And they're all looking at me like, I guess because I'm walking out with an attitude. They're looking at me like I'm doing something wrong. So a little confrontation, little confrontation, get the blood flowing a little bit. All right, everybody. Everybody have a fantastic week. Again, let's really make sure we all take care of each other. We've talked about this a lot lately. More and more I talk to people like the mental health state of our, the world really, but our country. Just a lot of people feeling frustrated. I've talked to people that say they just want to stay in bed all day long. So we really need to make sure we're helping each other out, really having a positive life, right? Like really cheering people on, telling them how great they are. Like, don't be afraid to, if you're just walking down the street. I've gotten a habit now, and I think women may take it the wrong way, but I try to make sure, like, say, man, you're looking gorgeous today, and most people take it the right way they get at it, but there's some women, I guess, obviously, you're going to take it that you're hitting on them, and I just think with everybody, like I go into Costco, and I think they get beat down so much. And so there's this one guy who always works. It's a 2-level Costco. So there's escalators with the carts going up and down and everything. This one guy, I call him the G-Man. Like he's a real gentleman. Like he's really polite to everybody. And so I call him G-Man. And so I see him, I really pour it on hard. There's the G-Man. I yelled at everybody, this is the G-Man. He's the biggest gentleman around here. So it really makes him feel good. You can tell he sees me coming again, gets fired up. And I do a lot with and I think a place like Costco, they get beat up a lot by customers. It's even more fun because it means a lot to them. I got this one guy, I can't remember his name. He's got the name tag, so I always cheat and look at the name tag. But he's a fantastic guy. Like I yell at him when I see him, and so it's cool. My buddy's in Costco. I go to Costco now for no reason. I try to find a reason to go to Costco. So, but it's all cool. All right, everybody, have a fantastic week. Deb, I will talk to you later. We'll get this book going. Get Susan Brooks off our back there. She's yelling at me all the time to get this book done. So we'll get that done. I hope everybody has a good week. Remember, everybody take care of yourself. You're all magical people. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how great you are. All right, let's go get it done.